The year 1400. The vast, relentless ocean lies before us, a formidable adversary, yet our only hope for survival. A world untamed and unexplored, where the boundary between the known and the unknown is as thin as the horizon. The sea, a great unending blanket of blue, was our home, our hunting ground, our battlefield. We were whalers, men of the sea, setting out on a voyage that would test our mettle and challenge our notions of the world as we knew it. Our mission was simple yet fraught with danger: to hunt the leviathans of the deep, the mighty whales whose oil would light the lamps of our homeland. Our vessel, a sturdy ship of oak and iron, was our fortress amidst the waves. The ship's timbers creaked and groaned under the strain of the sea, yet held firm, a testament to the skill of the shipwrights who had fashioned her. I was the captain, a grizzled veteran of many voyages, chosen to lead this band of hardy souls. My voice, the one you hear now, is a phantom from the past, a memoir of a journey that echoes through the ages. I tell this tale not as a story of adventure, but as a testament to the indomitable spirit of man when faced with the unforgiving forces of nature. The early days of our journey were filled with camaraderie and routine. Hard work and hearty laughter echoed across the ship's decks as we plied our trade. The men, a motley crew of seasoned sailors and eager greenhorns, worked as one, their spirits undaunted by the challenges of the sea. The rhythm of life on board was a dance, a symphony of human endeavor that played out against the backdrop of the open sea. We were a team, a family, sailing towards the unknown, oblivious to the horrors that awaited us. Our journey had just begun, and yet we were about to venture into a world beyond our wildest dreams, a world where the line between myth and reality would blur, a world of monstrous creatures and frozen wastelands. Little did we know the sea had a tale to tell, and we were about to become a part of its narrative. As days turned into weeks, the sea began to reveal its dark secrets. The calm and serene surface of the water started to ripple with an uneasy rhythm, a rhythm that was foreign to our seasoned sailors. Whispers of an unseen presence began to circulate among the crew, a presence that seemed to lurk just beneath the surface, always out of sight but never out of mind. The first signs of the creature were subtle, a shadow beneath the waves here, a fleeting glimpse of a monstrous silhouette there. The sea, once a source of livelihood, began to instill a sense of dread among the men. Attempts were made to catch this elusive beast, but every harpoon thrown, every net cast, returned empty. It was as if the creature was mocking us, playing a cruel game of cat and mouse. As the days passed, the tension among the crew grew palpable. The once jovial conversations were replaced with hushed whispers and anxious glances. Our ship, the sturdy vessel that had weathered countless storms, seemed like a fragile toy in the hands of this unseen monster. And then it struck. It was a night like any other, the moon casting long shadows on the deck, when the creature erupted from the depths. With a roar that echoed across the endless expanse of the ocean, it attacked our ship. The vessel groaned under the force of the assault, the wood splintering, the sails tearing. Men were thrown overboard, swallowed by the inky blackness of the sea. In a frenzied flurry, we fought back. Harpoons were thrown, cannons fired, but nothing seemed to deter the beast. The battle raged on, but our efforts were in vain. By the time the sun rose, our ship was a battered shadow of its former self. In a single night, our vessel was crippled, and we lost more than half our men. We were stranded in the middle of the ocean, hundreds of miles from land. With our last remaining lifeboat, we made it to a desolate frozen island. As if the fierce sea monster and the unforgiving ocean hadn't been enough, we now found ourselves stranded in a world of ice and snow. The island was a harsh mistress, her frigid winds biting at our skin, her barren landscape offering little in the way of shelter or sustenance. We were in the heart of a frozen wilderness, hundreds of miles away from civilization. The challenges that lay before us were daunting. The polar bears, majestic and intimidating, roamed the island freely. They were a constant threat, their piercing eyes always upon us, reminding us that we were not the apex predators here. Our supplies were dwindling, the food and fresh water we had salvaged from the ship barely enough to keep us alive. Every morsel of food, every drop of water had to be rationed, shared among the 7 of us. Survival became our only goal, our only hope. We built a makeshift shelter from the remnants of our lifeboat, huddling together for warmth as the temperature plummeted. We scavenged for food, scouring the icy terrain for anything edible. We even tried to hunt the polar bears, a desperate gamble that more often than not ended in failure. But amidst the hardship and the suffering, there was a glimmer of hope. We were 7 men, bound together by fate, by our shared ordeal. We had lost so much, but we still had each other. We found strength in our camaraderie, in our shared determination to survive. We kept each other sane, kept each other alive. Every day was a struggle, a test of our will, our resilience. But we never gave up. We clung to hope, to the belief that we would survive, that we would see our homes and our loved ones again. We were 7 men against the world, fighting the cold, the hunger, and the fear. Every day was a battle. Every night was a prayer. The sun would rise, casting a harsh, unrelenting light across the icy expanse, and with it, our fight for survival would begin anew. We were 7, stranded on a frozen island, surrounded by the ruthless chill of the North Atlantic and the constant menace of polar bears. Ours was a struggle against the elements, against starvation, and against the ever-present threat of the bears. Our days were consumed by the relentless pursuit of sustenance. Hunting became less of a choice and more of a necessity. With makeshift spears in hand, we ventured into the icy wilderness, our eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of life. The hunt was a gamble, a dance with death, but it was a gamble we had to take. But hunting was only half the battle. Gathering food, too, was a task fraught with danger. We braved the biting cold, scoured the frozen ground for any edible plant life, and chipped through the ice for fish. Each morsel we gathered was a victory, a small triumph in our fight against the gnawing hunger that threatened to consume us. As the days turned into weeks, our focus shifted to the lifeboat, our last hope for escape. We worked tirelessly, using what little tools we had to repair the damages. Each plank we fixed, each nail we drove in was a step closer to home. And yet, amidst the struggle, there was a resilience, a determination that refused to be extinguished. We were battered, bruised, and beaten down, but we were not broken. Each night, as we huddled together for warmth, our thoughts turned to home. We clung to the hope of rescue, the promise of a warm hearth, and the comforting embrace of loved ones. We were dying, but we were not ready to give up. With a patched-up lifeboat and a handful of hope, we set sail towards home. The journey was nothing short of an odyssey. The vast expanse of the sea, once a source of livelihood, now seemed a merciless, unending labyrinth. Every wave that crashed against our frail vessel was a stark reminder of the creature that lurked beneath the depths, a constant threat that kept us on our toes. Our hearts were heavy, but our determination was unyielding. The lifeboat, like our spirits, was battered but not broken. We had lost much, but the flame of survival was still alight, flickering in the icy wind, refusing to be extinguished. The sea had claimed more than half our crew, the frozen island had tested our resilience, and the creature had left us scarred. But we were mariners, and the sea was our home, even in its harshest form. Day turned into night and night into day, each passing moment a battle against the elements and the gnawing hunger. The cold was biting, the wind was relentless, and the silence, broken only by the occasional groan of the hull or the distant cry of a seabird, was deafening. Yet, despite the odds, we pressed on, guided by the stars and driven by the thought of home. And then, after what seemed an eternity, we saw it. A silhouette against the horizon, a beacon of hope in the endless blue. A ship. Our weary eyes could hardly believe the sight. We fired a flare, our last, into the cloud-streaked sky, its red glow piercing the twilight like a desperate plea for salvation. The ship turned towards us, and as it drew closer, we knew we were saved. We were pulled aboard, our story of survival listened to with awe and disbelief. The sea had tested us, had taken much from us, but we had endured. We were saved, but we were forever changed. I pen these words as a testament to our journey, our struggle, and our survival. As the salty ocean air still lingers on my skin, the aftermath of our voyage weighs heavy on my soul. The return to our families was bittersweet, a joyous reunion tainted by the ghosts of our fallen shipmates. We were once a crew of more than 50, now reduced to a mere 7. Each of us carries the invisible scars of our journey, the memories of icy winds, polar bear threats, and the monstrous sea creature that set us off course. They are etched into our very beings, a reminder of our struggle and survival against insurmountable odds. In the quiet moments, I find solace in the written word. I've resolved to pen our tale, a tribute to my lost crewmates, their bravery, their sacrifice. Their stories will not be lost to the waves. We were sailors, whalers, explorers. We were survivors. This is our story.